So as many of you know, I survived a major car wreck with my wife, my father, and his partner 2 weeks ago, yesterday. We were driving back from Albuquerque, a wonderful vacation. My dad had wanted to see the aspens turn in the mountains one last time. We had a great time. Driving back 6 hours, kind of drowsy, dusk, and I'm dropping off in the back seat, sleep. Zet's driving. She gets to an intersection in the highway. She stops and continues to the intersection thinking it's a four-way stop, but it's not. It's a two-way stop. The other car T-boned the driver's side at 75, 80 miles an hour. Just bam. Hit square on the driver's side door. I was asleep in the back seat. I heard Zet scream. I drowsed myself just enough, just in time to see the car maybe as far away as that wall, probably closer, I don't know. Time just kind of went real slow motion. And I saw it coming. I said, oh, so this is how it ends. And some things, I can only say grace kicked in. And a deep sense of peace and relaxation. I went in deep meditation state as the car hit us. And was just watching with witness mind. Car on its side, we're hanging by our seat belts. Zed is passed out in the front seat. My dad's screaming on the floor and his partner in shock. I realize my mind is wide awake. I realize there's just this deep sense of peace. This, it's almost a voice. It's almost a voice that says, just peace, be still. All is well. Something, I don't know what. Maybe pick up my cell phone and call for help. It told me as clear as day. Call Sue. Sue Kalberg is a good friend. We don't see each other very often, but she's the most level-headed person I know under fire. She's had 2 husbands die in front of her. She's had horrible, horrible things happen in her family, and as a TV reporter, she's seen a lot of car wrecks. So somewhere out of the blue, in the middle of nowhere, I knew nobody out there in West Texas. We were nowhere near anything. I knew the ambulances were coming because I could hear people screaming and yelling about 911. So I called Sue and she said, we're in a terrible wreck. Don't know when I'll talk to you next. Help if you can. That's all the time we had. And then the next thing I knew, the jaws of death were cutting the car open and they were hauling Zed out unconscious into the helicopter. I asked to go with, but they said, no, you're going to another hospital, and your dad's going to another hospital with his partner. Out in the middle of nowhere, I'm here to tell you, I just got to stand to bear witness to this. I'm here to tell you that at the worst moment of my life, there was a deep and profound peace and a sense that all was well and was going to be fine. And I'm here to tell you that through the miracle of this community, our network of friends, and modern technology, there were scores, if not hundreds of people praying for us before we'd gotten to the emergency room. We were still in the ambulance, and people in Holland were praying for us and telling their friends to pray for us. And it went viral just like that. I found that out afterwards. But what I knew in the moment and what I experienced every step of the way is that my needs were met, our needs were met, and there were angels at every turn in human form and doubtlessly in other forms as well. I don't know about that. All I know is that all our needs were met every step of the way. And all 4 of us by rights should be dead, could have been dead. Certainly the 2 of us on the driver's side And instead, I've got one fracture in my tibia, and Zed has fractured pelvis and sacrum and hip, but no surgery is required. And I'm absolutely convinced it's in large part because so many people were praying for us, and in part because I was just relaxed and enjoyed the ride. Which is, I can say that with a smile on my face, because to be hit at that speed and at such a horrible thing, and still to just feel, oh, okay. And to be grateful, just grateful. As I was hauled into my ambulance and heard the chopper flying away and saw my dad disappear in the other ambulance, I knew without any doubt that we were in good hands. And I knew without any doubt that I had a lot to be grateful for, and I started up the gratitude meter right then and there. Just grateful to be alive, have a friendly EMT tech. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Bad times have a scientific value. These are occasions that a good learner would not miss." Well, I'm here to tell you I've learned some lessons from those bad times, from the, quote, seemingly terrible thing. And I'm here to tell you, first of all, that I know beyond any doubt in my mind that I can let go into the worst of times and just trust the highest good is unfolding and not have to know what that is. I guarantee you I had no idea what was ahead of me lying down in that ambulance and what had happened to Zed. But I knew help was on the way. In fact, help had arrived, and that help was in large part alive in me. I'm here to tell you, too, that there is incredible power in gratitude. I experienced firsthand that instead of worrying about what could have happened, what might happen, what's going to happen, and just be with what is happening in that moment, I found plenty to be grateful every step of the way. And that's why I'm here, and I say it with great passion and conviction. I am on a campaign to make America grateful again. Because I think we as a society have gotten fixated on what we need to get next. The next job, the next weight loss, the next product, the next thing. Then we'll be grateful. No, we are incredibly blessed. Each and every one of us in this room is fed, is safe, is comfortable. Each and every one of us has so much to be grateful for, and I, for one, never want to take that for granted again. I won't. That's my sole job from here on out, is to be loving, to be loved, and to be grateful. The rest is just details, because in that moment I saw with stunning clarity, and I'm downloading it's going to take me a little while here, and excuse me if I get corny, but in those few seconds I saw with absolute certainty that I can lose my car, my brand new car. I hadn't even made the first payment. I could lose my wife. I could lose my body. I could just as easily be a paraplegic as someone standing in front of you now. I could lose my body, use of my body. I could lose everything, and I would still have this consciousness. And even if I had died, I am absolutely clear that the peace with which I experienced the collision absolutely would carry on to another realm that I don't claim to know anything about. I'm not getting into that. All I know is there is nothing so terrible that could ever happen to me that I shouldn't be grateful and present for it anyway. That's my story, and I want to live it so fully that it comes oozing out of every joint in my body. I can no longer stand back and let the voices of divisiveness and hatred and lack and need be the dominant ones in our culture. I will say I have enough, we have enough to be grateful now and in every situation, in all things, give thanks. For this broken leg, I am absolutely grateful. You know why? I broke this very same knee I had in the 8th grade, starting quarterback on the New Braunfels junior high football team. Big deal. Yay! I was going to be the starting quarterback, which in my little town was the biggest deal there was. The last day before the season started, James Took got me just as I was turning into a off slant tackle, and my knee went out. And that was, I had operation. It was fine. I still played more basketball and football like a fool. But then about 50 years later, 2 years ago, the knee started hurting, getting a little arthritic, and I'd have trouble with it. I'd complain about it on cold days and wet days and have trouble with the stairs. And I was like, and until as recently as a few weeks ago, I was going, now it's, wow, I've got a knee. And it works. And if I can just keep this Velcro cast on and my leg straight for a month, maybe 6 weeks, the doctor says it'll heal itself. There's nothing the doctors need to do. My body knows how to heal itself. All I have to do is get out of the way and not eat the bad stuff, not overtire myself, not do anything silly with my leg, and it'll heal. And now I know, too, that the old stuff can heal. The stuff from junior high school, the wounds from the first divorce, and the second divorce. I wasn't even a divorce. Never mind. Don't even want to go. All of that, I am absolutely free to heal. All I have to do is get out of the way, because there is something else working here, and I don't need to know who it is. I don't need to know what it is, but I do know I have a deeply personal relationship with this impersonal something I call God, Spirit, and that relationship absolutely works for me. It was amazing to feel incredibly affirmed. At 65, I've spent the last 43 years doing this work, singing, talking about Spirit, and celebrating life. Haven't made much money in the process. Don't have all that money that AARP says I should have in my retirement account. Very small Social Security check I'll draw someday, not now. And there was a part of me as recently as a few weeks ago, I'm wondering, what the heck am I doing? And maybe I should get a job. I don't know. I should, I don't know who would employ me after all these years of being totally of free spirit, but maybe I should, because I'm 65. Nah. I am absolutely clear that my needs are met and will always be met. And when it became clear that, the minimal insurance we had through Medicare wouldn't cover all of the what do you call those? They're called co-pays. Thank you. I'm right on top of it, you can tell. Some friends said they'd like to help, and they opened a fund, and next thing I knew, dozens of people were donating. And I'm here to tell you, the hardest part of these last 2 weeks has simply to be to stay open to all the love and support that I've gotten. That's the toughest part. It's not the leg, it's not the bills, it's not the doctor visits. It's just staying open to all the love and support that wants to come into me. And I'm convinced the same is true for all of us. It's not just because I had an accident and now it's coming. This is the natural state. This is how it's supposed to work. This is how it does work if I can just get out of the way and let it work and let the love come in. It was amazing to watch Celebration Circle. That it was not even about 35 hours after the wreck. Celebration Circle. We were there in Zet's hospital room, both still kind of groggy from that initial round of painkillers they'd given us in the ambulance. and to watch the way this community came together. Angel and Audrey, of course, leading it, but Carl and Ray providing the music, and Betty and Leslie and Carl and everybody just bringing things together. And then the Facebook comes pouring over to West Texas, where we're huddled in a hospital bed, just crying to see the beauty of this community and the fullness and the love and the support that was coming not just to us, but to all of us. Because why? Because we are one. And what happens to any of us happens to all of us. And that's true for the whole planet. We practice in this room with, this many people on a Sunday morning and that many more watching on Facebook Live. But in fact, there's millions and millions of us throughout the planet who are connected in consciousness. And that number is growing exponentially. If I learn to trust it and tap into it again and again. The collective consciousness has all the wisdom, all the abundance, and all the love, and all the support I need, you need, we need, in every moment, in every circumstance. Breathe deeply with me in that. Just one. Every moment, every circumstances, all my needs are met. That's my experience. That's my song. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it.